With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
All right, that was Iowa phenom and #1 pick Caitlin Clark at Monday's WNBA draft. Clark capping off a season that saw records broken both on the court and on television ratings for women's college basketball. Yet she will earn a little over $76,000 in her rookie season. A lot of people are outraged at the relatively small number given her impact overall on the sport. So Clark, Cameron Brink, Camila Cardozo and Ricky Jackson all tied for the highest female rookie salaries this year. So it's slightly less than the average mean wage in America last year. So if you want to look at a statistics website, Statista, in 2023, a WNBA player earned on average base salary of almost $114,000. An NBA player made an average base salary of $9.7 million. That's a huge pay disparity. It has been a long-standing challenge in the women's league, causing many of these premier athletes like Brittany Griner to go play basketball overseas in their off season to supplement their incomes. They have to make a lot more money playing overseas. I want to bring back my panel here, LZ, Barbara, Christina, and Mike. So LZ, look, you have covered women's basketball for a really, really long time. What is your take here now that women are truly electrifying this sport and they don't feel that they're getting paid what they're worth at this moment?
Kane, I'm not sure if you're going to like what I have to say, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Say it.
If women are upset that the WNBA players aren't getting paid more money, take your asses to some games. Support the women.
Go buy the jerseys. Go buy the merchandise.
The WNBA has been around for a long time. Not as long as the NBA. The NBA is like twice as old as the WNBA, but certainly long enough to have more than $76,000 be the starting salary for a #1 draft pick in 2024. But the reason why the economics is the way that it is because, one, men are sexist, and two, more importantly, women aren't supporting them. Kylie Jenner is younger than the WNBA, and she's a billionaire, not because of men, but because of women. Taylor Swift was born in 89? She's about as old as the WNBA. She's a billionaire, not because of men, but because of women. So if you want women to make more money, first thing needs to happen is more women need to support other women.
That's interesting. And it does appear that it is happening, though, right? I mean, like, it is hard to find a ticket to some of these games now. I mean, the national championship, right, played out in front of jam-packed audiences, both in the stadium and on television as well. Barbara, I know the president has already weighed in, though, on this pay disparity, actually putting out on social media that women in sports continue to push the boundaries and inspire us all. But when they're not seeing their success converted into a paycheck, he asked the open question there, what does that say?
Well, they have this great moment now to highlight that. And like Elsie said, now have the women get there. People were buying the tickets. What you had the tickets prices go way up. You had viewership go way up. So as they're negotiating these TV deals, apparently they're going to go up.
Yeah.
So maybe there's going to be more bargaining opportunities here. So the Caitlin Clark effect, the April Reese effect, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. So they really can take advantage of these opportunities now and highlight all of these things. And exactly, you know, what we're saying is women get out there and support other women and, you know, highlight that we need to be paying them more.
Right. I mean, Christina, do you think that this could... Yeah. And I mean, to her point there, Christina, do you think that this could kind of be the snowball effect here? And if they really can get more money through the door in seats, in merchandise, but also with these major TV contracts, that will really trickle down to the players?
Yeah, I mean, we can actually do both. We can actually be personally outraged that Caitlin Clark, a woman at the top of her game, a national phenomenon, is going to be paid so much less than her male counterparts, some of whose names people don't even know, but they know her name. But there's also the reality, right, that the NBA's revenue topped $10 billion in 2022. The WNBA's viewership, arena tickets just don't even match that. So is Caitlin Clark, that is a force of nature, is she capable of changing that alone? she's going to drive a lot of us, but she's not capable of changing it alone. It's got to be us, the fans, the American people, that buy in to the force that women are in basketball and sports. And along the way, it may also take some lawsuits, because let's remember, the women's soccer team of the United States had to take legal course and action and organize to get their fair share compared to their male counterparts.
Yeah, they sure did. And Mike, some of these salaries, though, right, they're the minimum allowed for rookies. I mean, these are things that are laid out in their collective bargaining agreement between the WNBA and its Players Association. At what point does that get reassessed here as the ratings grow, if they keep growing the way that they do?
I think it's the way you ended it. The ratings have to grow. As I've been talking ad nauseum about this March Madness, in particular for the women's March Madness, is a watershed moment, not just for women's basketball, but for women's sports in general. What the women's basketball sport has been able to do to attract new viewership is absolutely phenomenal. I've been saying that they need to use this as a pipeline from the collegiate area into the WNBA. But it didn't start this year. It actually started last year with the March Madness on the women's side, where you saw LSU and Iowa go at it, to which LSU won, but you saw that dynamic between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Those two individuals really began to elevate and highlight that sport, which led us into the start of this season and to March Madness for women's basketball. As the women's sports begin to grow, then you will see the pipeline coming from college into the WNBA. But it's a cautionary tale, even as I've been noticing the coverage of this aspect of it. As Christina just brilliantly highlighted, it can't be just on one person, but the media and also too the WNBA needs to do a better job of highlighting other incredibly talented and gifted athletes in women's basketball. You can't grow the sport by only growing one person. There's so many other wonderful narratives of these women. There's so many other women who are phenomenal at their craft, because they've also too changed the style of play of basketball for women's basketball that's more reflective of the NBA. So when I'm watching an NBA game now and then I switch over to a women's collegiate basketball, for me, Kana, I don't even see a difference anymore. But previously I did. And so because the style of play is differently, it's attracting much more people who are accustomed to an NBA style of play to the WNBA. And it's because of these collegiate women basketball players who are also changing the style of play.
Yeah, maybe you see a little bit more
Kana,
defense in the women's game. I don't know. Yeah, Elsie?
Kana, if I may, I just want to also point out and give props to the deceased Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was a huge advocate of women basketball. And he's part of the reason, too, why there's this watershed moment happening. He used his platform to direct energy towards the women's game, and we're seeing parts of that play out today as well.
You're absolutely right. What he has done with the Mamba Academy for women's basketball is huge. I mean, let's not forget, Sabrina Ionesco spoke at his funeral. That is how influential he was to her. Yeah, and she really put eyes on the women's game as well. And talk about women helping other women. What she has done for the next generation is amazing. I hope we keep talking about this, all of us. LZ, Barbara, Christina, and Mike, our thanks to all of you.